Your soul is the universe in motion, and in this podcast, we're diving deep into metaphysics, the meaning of life, knowledge of the soul, and secrets of the universe. I am Jessica Delmar, and this is the Soulverse Podcast. Hello everyone, thank you so much for being here. I am Jessica Delmar, and today we are talking more about the three minds, the gut, the heart, and the brain. But more so, we're diving into the gut space because this is what really came through with the information that's been coming through lately, is really about the gut. Before we get into this message, I just want to quickly talk to you about this seasonal portal that we opened on June 21st, which was the new moon and solar eclipse. I did not create a video for this third seasonal portal, although I did create a blog post, a written blog post. So I'm going to put the link to that written blog post below and you can read all about it. Basically, the solstice in June kicked off this third seasonal portal that we are currently in, and it ends on September 22nd, which is the September equinox. Powerful information came through in terms of an energetic message for this third seasonal portal to help you to balance your energy while you make your way through this seasonal portal, because it's going to be a fiery one. It's going to be a very active portal. And so information about divine energetic balance, which was really the theme and the mantra of this portal, is what came through for this third seasonal portal. So again, I'll put the link below. Go ahead and read that. You can even download the page of information that came through to put up on your wall, have it handy throughout this portal to keep you centered and balanced. The information about the gut mind has strongly been coming through because it's connected to everything that we're seeing playing out on the planet regarding specifically healthcare and how we take care of our bodies. Moving into 5D, the system, the constructs of 3D in terms of healthcare have to change. The way that we take care of our bodies have to change. The gut is the powerhouse of our immune system of the body. And so a lot of the information that's been coming through in this series is all about connecting to your gut in this brand new, elevated, and multidimensional way, in where you can heal yourself, you can integrate holistic style of healing or wellness in order to care for your body and allow for those three minds to begin communicating with each other, the heart, the brain, and the gut, in order to restore and reintegrate wholeness in the body, for your body to work as a whole unit and strengthen your immune system to get rid of the 3D things that no longer serve you, especially those lower vibrational toxic energies that a lot of people hold in the 3D body, and then shift into your 5D physical form in order to embrace 5D New Earth. So this is really important information that's been coming through. So far, I have about 20 pages that came through, so I'm going to break this down into different parts to make it a little bit more digestible for you. So let's get right into it. This is part 2. If you haven't yet listened to part 1, be sure to listen to part 1. I'll put a link in the description or the show notes below. Listen to part 1 first. This is part 2, and I'm just going to read what came through. Today, we are going down the rabbit hole of the human body and the functions of the immune system. In part 1, we spoke about the activation of the gut mind in order to continue balancing the energy of the body, specifically the communication between the three minds, the heart, brain, and gut. The heart and the brain minds have widely opened within the past few years of awakening and ascension for many individuals and light workers, and the energy right now that is deeply calling for attention is the opening of the gut mind. The gut is a very complex system within the body. It holds doorways to our multidimensionality within the earth plane. The heart and the brain hold doorways to our multidimensionality within higher planes of existence. For us to more deeply connect to the grounding energy of New Earth 5D, the gut must be connected to on a much deeper level. But first, there is much healing, clearing, and transformation that must occur in the gut space. This is because the 3D gut in the 3D body is very heavy and loaded with energetic toxins that do not serve the body in 5D. These energetic toxins in the 3D gut have also kept the body in a constant state of dystrophy, is what came through. Your 3D weak guts open weak immune systems in the body, and therefore open weak bodies. Where do we start? Everything in the body is connected. There is not one thing in the body that exists in a vacuum and is not connected to another part of the body. Your body is a beautiful machine that exists in harmony with nature. If you take your natural body without any added man-made toxins or prescriptions or immunizations or skincare products or GMO foods or exposure to unnatural lighting and air, etc., you will find that your body is pure nature, and your body would naturally tune to the vibration of nature and the planet. This is harmonic resonance or vibrational resonance within all of nature, and that can be found within all of nature, which is the ability to harmonize together in vibration through a living network of non-physical energy or pure electric current that stimulates all open, living things. You, as human beings, take yourself out of the natural progression of nature because you have a free will thinking mind and do not see yourselves as compared to a tree, for example. But the amazing thing about your mind is that it gives you free will thought to explore, think, and journey to the edges of the world and beyond. It opens new world experiences within you and expansion like no other. A tree, on the other hand, does not have a brain like a human, but it does have a greater mind that connects it to the mind of Gaia. And the Gaia mind in the tree is what instantly connects the tree to Gaia. All living beings have three minds. A mind that connects to the self. In the human, it would be the brain. A mind that connects to the spirit or to the source within. In the human, it would be the heart. And a mind that connects to Gaia. And in the human form, that would be the gut. For a living being, like a tree, all three minds hook into the earth, into Gaia. Therefore, the mind of the tree integrates all three minds, the self connection, the spirit or source connection, and the Gaia connection through Gaia. So the tree integrates all three of its minds through Gaia because it's hooked into Gaia. It does not necessarily integrate those three minds through the body of the tree, but rather through Gaia herself. The body of the tree is then therefore seen or integrated more so like an extension of Gaia, like your arm is an extension of your body. It is part of the living network of energy that connects all things. Only in the human body do these three minds exist as three separate minds, if you will, let alone separate from Gaia, although they are essentially all connected to Gaia in this living network of all living things, but it's just not in the conscious realization of the average human being. And again, this is because of the free will thought of a person. The illusion of separation allows a person to experience individuality, and it is through individuality that a lot of recognition of the self can be made aware. But you humans were not meant to stay in self-awareness, but to eventually evolve from separation back into energetic connection while maintaining your ability to be self-aware in a space that cultivates wholeness of all. So, this is essentially the evolution into 5D. Self-ignorance is 3D. Self-awareness is 4D. Self-integration with the all is 5D and beyond. Again, self-ignorance is 3D. Self-awareness is 4D. Self-integration with the all is 5D and beyond. Your bodies play a huge role in your ascension journey. They are your vessel to shift and exist into higher dimensional states. You cannot physically exist in higher frequency states if your body is resonating at lower vibrations. Your consciousness may shift as you open, but your physical body may not. This is where the importance of the 3 minds come in. The separation of the 3 minds in the body make it a bit more difficult for the 5D shifting process. Unlike a tree, which can shift easily because its 3 minds are hooked up into earth, the 3 minds of a human are seen as separate, if you will, and therefore, because it's thought of as separate, they run or they function separately as well, until integration of all 3 minds in wholeness can be realized. Through your integration of separation, the following instances are possible. Number 1, the brain mind opens a person's consciousness and receiving of higher knowledge. So, it's possible for the brain to open higher states of consciousness, but through your ideas of separation, then it's possible that the brain can open these higher states of consciousness, but the physical body will not receive it. Number 2, the heart mind opens states of love. So it's possible for the heart of a person to open higher states of unconditional love, but for the mind and the body to not receive it. And number 3, the gut mind opens your connection to the earth. So it's possible for the gut of a person to open deeper connection to the earth, but for the brain and the heart to not receive it. Again, these are possibilities that are open for the physical human body, not in 5D, to integrate in the realm of separation. For as long as you hold separation within the physical form, then therefore your body functions within that separation consciousness. So again, this is the problem with separation in the body as well as your energy. You must learn to balance and integrate all within the body as a whole, both physically and energetically. All 3 minds must integrate and ascend, and at some point in your evolution and ascension, all 3 minds will meet together in harmony and balance. But now is your time to focus on the gut mind and integrate a deeper connection to the earth that birthed you. Your healing and activation of the gut involves a deeper integration with Gaia that goes beyond just having a deep love and appreciation for her or being what you would call a tree hugger, but your integration with Gaia is about understanding your place in the bigger body of Gaia and understanding your greater purpose in the network of living energy that makes up the body of Gaia. Your life is not random. What you do is not random. Where you are is not random. Your background is not random. But all exists in the greater purpose of the greater functioning of Gaia as a whole. Would you tell a single cell in your body that it has no purpose, or that it does not make a difference, or that its existence is random? No, of course not. You know that each cell in your body, each and everything in your body, contributes to a greater purpose of the functioning of you. There is nothing random, but all in greater purpose. And so, the more that you begin to remember and find your greater purpose and place in the network of living energy that makes up your entire planet, the more that you will find your grounded placement in 5D New Earth. The next thing that came through was a lot of talk about Atlantean energy and connecting it to where we are right now. Your gut is the powerhouse of your body and your immune system's home base center, if you will. So again, your gut is home base for your physical body. When the gut is weak, the entire body is weak. The problem with dominant Atlantean energy currently on your planet is that the Atlanteans, for the most part, during the fall of Atlantis, did not see the body as part of the earth, but saw the body as existing separate and simply existing on the earth. And this information about Atlantean energy is coming through strongly because it's connecting us again to where we are right now in terms of where we are in our mind-based evolution, if you will, currently on the planet and where it has taken us and where we need to now kind of reevaluate where we are in order to understand where we're going and how we can make the appropriate shifts in our consciousness to embrace new earth consciousness, which is not necessarily following the same line that we have been on in terms of the mind-based consciousness, but embracing more of the earth and the heart, combining all three minds to open up a more evolved sense of consciousness, which integrates wholeness and the all. And so, going back to what came through, in the Atlanteans' curiosity to explore the physical form, the body, they did not turn to the natural structure of the body and its connection to Gaia, but rather the intelligence of the mind outgrew the connection to the earth. So in their attempt to study the body, they turned to technology and science and mind-based structures in order to know more about the body. This energy was separate from Gaia, obviously, but mostly it was not integrated with the heart and the gut. It was purely mind-based. And so, studying the body only through the lens of the mind opens strong holes in the understanding of the body as purely natural in creation. Mind-based science does not take into consideration how the body responds to energy or the earth, but instead overrides the body's natural rhythm and harmonic resonance with the earth and separates the body as mind over matter. Meaning, science does not necessarily take into consideration the implications of nature when it comes to the body, but instead, it finds value and final conclusions to be based on calculations of the mind rather than natural rhythms of non-physical energy flow. This existed in Atlantis and currently exists in your 3D world. However, you must know that this way of thought opens up very deep and dark doorways into separation from Gaia. The farther the Atlanteans got from Gaia through this way of only mind-based thinking and opening up more dark and deep doorways, separating themselves from Gaia, the worse the outcomes of their scientific experiments. It is much like a limb of the body that has gotten gangrene. The farther that you get away from your connection to Gaia, the lack of blood flow is what will ultimately disconnect you entirely. During the time of Atlantis, Gaia suffered from this sort of concept of the gangrene limb that became Atlantis. Well, in your modern-day science, what do you do with a limb that suffers from gangrene? It must be amputated to prevent the spreading. And so during the time of Atlantis, this was the only option to really stop the spreading of the horrific energy growing out of the limb that was Atlantis. The limb was cut off through the downfall of the Atlantean civilization, but the trauma of the amputation or the downfall rippled throughout the entire body of Gaia. The downfall of Atlantis was Gaia's decision to cut the civilization off. They had wandered too far away from her and began opening very dark energy upon the planet. And in the attempt to amputate the energy, if you will, Gaia amputated the Atlantean civilization through natural disaster. However, this call to amputate this part of Gaia sent energy waves throughout the planet. The planet was no longer whole, but just like you would amputate a limb, A part of the planet was gone. A part of a human being is gone when you amputate a limb. And what this did for the planet was it opened a wave of imbalanced energy within the whole. Gaia is a living, breathing being just like any of you. She has a greater purpose and must learn lessons, open opportunity, and learn to move with the way that energy moves, even if it's through contraction as well as expansion of energy along her journey. Gaia may not be perfect in the eyes of humans, but she is perfect in the eyes of God. Her decision to amputate Atlantis may have had good intentions for the greater whole of Gaia, but in the end, it really only opened up more separation upon the planet. This energy of separation opened up feelings of separation upon people and beings upon the planet, which in turn opened up more darkness in the collective consciousness. And this eventually plunged Gaia into a lower dimensional and lower vibrational state of being. However, this change of energy was all destined. In a bigger picture perspective, Gaia knew where she was headed in lower dimensions before she even got there. She prepared herself for the decision that she had to make in order to move with the contrasting of energy in the universe. She made her decision in terms of the downfall of Atlantis, not only for herself, but for the greater experience of those upon her. The phantom limb of Atlantis continued to persist with the energy of Atlantis still haunting the body of Gaia. This is what perpetuated the energy of separation and darkness throughout Gaia and the karmic energy of the collective. The energy of ghost Atlantis, if you will, incarnated over and over and over again because the energy was stuck in the womb of Gaia, not having ever fully been transmuted out of the body of Gaia. And here you are again at a crossroads, the same place that the Atlanteans found themselves many, many years ago. The gangrene of the physical body showing up again upon Gaia. But this time, again, Gaia knows where she's headed, and she knows that this time she is headed into expansive energy rather than contrasting energy. So her decisions must be different in order to reap a different outcome. Instead of falling into a dark hole, into that contrasting energy that she was falling into during the time of Atlantis and Lemuria, in the greater expanse of universal energy, that greater, bigger picture, she is now climbing out of that dark hole and opening into expansion and light, again in that greater universal perspective of energy. This also opens new, expansive, and lighter energy for all who exist upon her. So, her decision during this powerful shifting time is not to amputate the growing gangrene limb, but this time, Gaia recruited healthy light cells full of energy from around the galaxy and beyond. This is like being offered a rope from higher vibrational beings and planets around the galaxy and the universe to help Gaia out of this deep, dark hole. And all of these recruited healthy light cells from around the universe were asked to open into her body, or rather incarnate as beings upon her body, with the purpose of integrating more light to align to the greater expansion of universal energy that Gaia is moving into. This would, in turn, shift the cells of her body that did not align to the great shift of energy. It would help to transmute, to cleanse, to clear, to shift all of those lower vibrational energies or cells upon her into this new expansive energy form in one way or another. These healthy new light cells are able to enter the body, transmute, and heal the body with knowledge and technology far more advanced than the 3D mind alone, but is technology based upon the integration of all three minds together as a powerful weapon of light, also connected to galactic energy, central sun energy, and source energy, depending upon where these light cells came from across the universe. And this is what you must know. You, the light workers, are the technology sent forth from the universe to assist Gaia during this powerfully transformative time. You are the integration of all three minds to help bring forward healing and transmutation like the planet has never seen before. As we speak, you are on the journey of integrating all three minds within you, and this is the journey of remembering who you truly are. When these three minds are fully integrated in wholeness within you, resonating and harmonizing with the network of Earth Gaia and all living beings, you as light workers together will unleash a healing victory upon the planet that will take your collective into a new dimension. You are opening the third mind now, which is the gut. And integrating the gut will launch rockets of desire into the collective consciousness for healing rather than destruction, and for love and wholeness rather than separation. This is the purpose of this series. We are here to help activate your memory and your integration of the three minds within, in wholeness and unity. Oneness, love, and peace be with you.